Welcome to lesson 3.6. This is our last lesson in the unit 3 talking about functions, and in this time we're going to be talking about the domain and range of functions. Now, you probably remember because I just said this in class, the domain is all x values of a function and the range is all y values of a function. All y values, okay? So if you know that definition, it's going to really help you out. So the x-axis, remember, is going left to right, and the y-axis going up and down. So the way to find the domain and range using a graph is pretty straightforward. The domain of a graph, you just look for the lowest x value. So the lowest x value is, if you go over here, 8, right? And our highest x value is 4. That's the highest x value. So the way to say this is that the lowest x, the domain of this function, goes from -8 to 4. And this is just the way we write it. Negative x is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 4. And what that's just telling us is that x is in between 4 and -8. Okay, so this is how you have to write it. Now the range is all the y values. And remember, this is your y-axis. So you look for where the lowest y is. That would be here at 1, okay? And then you go for your highest y, which is here. You go on the y-axis. So at the lowest y, okay, we have 1, and the highest y value is 6. So the range of this function is from 1 to 6. And what this is telling us is that f of x, which is also the same thing as writing y, is in between 1 and 6. Okay? So you just write the lowest value and the highest value for both the x and y to find the domain and range. Let's try it one more time, okay? Now, I suggest pausing the video and seeing if you could do this by yourself, but you could watch if you want, but if you want, pause the video and see if you get the right answer. So let's try to find the domain of this graph first. So we go to the lowest x value, and so the lowest x value is over here, right? And that would be at -6, all right? And the highest x value, if you keep going, it stops here. So our highest x value would be 6. So we'd write our lowest value here, which is -6, and our highest value here, which is 6. So the domain of this graph is from -6 to 6, right? Doesn't that make sense? That's all the numbers from -6 to 6. So -5, -4, -3, and it goes all the way up to 6. So x is between -6 and 6. The range, remember, we're just going to go to the y values now. So the lowest y is not here, right? Now, I know you want to put 3 as the lowest y, but that's not the lowest y. The lowest y is all the way down here at -3. You see how that's the lowest y that I can find? So what I'm going to do is actually erase this. It's not 3. You don't just go to the point. The lowest y value on this graph is at -3. The highest y value, it goes all the way up to 7. Why did I say 6? Right? That's the highest y value I find. So the range is from -3 to 7, right? So y is between -3 and 7. So all numbers in between -3 and 7 is our range. All right? So that's how you find the domain and range from a graph. Now you should be used to it at this point. There's 3 ways that we look at functions. We look at it from a graph, from a table, and from an equation. Let's try it from a table. So what is the domain and range of this? Remember, to find the domain, what we're going to do is find the lowest x value and y value. So this is going to be our domain side. Domain, right? And this is going to be our range. And we're going to do the same thing where we just circle. So what is the lowest x value? Well, if you look through these numbers, it's 0. And the highest x value is 18, right? So our domain is 0 to 18, right? That's our domain. It goes from 0 to 18. Now the range from this table is we're going to find the lowest y value. So let's find our lowest y. What are you doing? Crazy. Crazy computer. Let's go our lowest y value. So it's 4, 21, all these numbers. -13 is our lowest y, right? -13 is actually the lowest y. Now if you keep looking through these numbers, the highest y value is 21. So our range is from -13, that's our lowest number, to 21, right? And all the numbers in between. Remember, f of x is the same thing as y. And that's how we find the domain and range from a table. Okay? Now this one gets interesting. What is the range of the function below? right? And this one is given us to an equation. Now, hopefully you figured this out by now, but what are we going to do with this thing? Well, that's right. We're going to put it into the calculator to find the range, all right? And we're going to find our lowest number and our highest number, okay? So I'm just going to set up. What you should write, though, first is this. We're going to go like this. We're going to set up this. Y is between, oh, sorry. Never mind. We're good. So let's take out our calculator and let's put x squared plus 3 in the calculator. I'm going to do that myself. Hold on. So there's my calculator. Let's put it in. Y. So I'm going to go to y equals. And let's put in this function. It's x squared plus 3. All right? And now let's go to our table because we know how to find the range from the table. So what we're going to do is look at the y because we're looking for the range, not the domain, right? So we're going to go look for the y. Let's look for the range of, so let's look at the y's. Now our goal is to find the lowest y first, right? So first we're going to find the lowest y. So we're going to go all the way up. Now the y is going up a lot here, right? So that's probably not where we're going to, it keeps going up, up, up. That's probably not where we're going to find the lowest y. So let's keep going down, 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 down. And if you look here, it looks like 3 is the lowest number I could find. I'll search up a little bit more. You got to go up, you got to go down, okay? And if you look, yep, it just keeps going up, 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 okay? So what we can say here is this. Our lowest value is 3, all right? So our lowest value is 3. So 3, I'm going to put as my lowest value. Lowest is equal to 3, all right? I'm just putting a note to myself. This isn't the answer yet. Now, here's the interesting part. Let's actually now look for the highest value, all right? And if you go down here and you keep going, you'll notice that it goes on forever. It'll keep going up. And the reason is you should notice that this is an x squared function. So what it does is it actually goes up forever. If you graph this, look, you see how it goes up? It's going to keep going up forever. So the highest value is actually infinity. So when you write that, so what we could say is this. Instead of writing in between nothing, because it's not in between any two numbers, we're going to say this. The range is y is greater than or equal to 3. Another way to say that is y is greater than or equal to 3. All right, either one's acceptable. That says y is greater than 3, and that also says y is greater than 3. The reason I put that is because it never stops. So there's no like lowest value and highest value. There's just the lowest value. The lowest value is 3, and then it goes on forever. So y is greater than 3. Now here's a similar example, right? This one says find the domain of the function below. Okay? So the domain, and I'd like you to put notes to yourself, this would be really helpful, is all x values. All right? It's good to write out definitions. So what is the domain? Well, let's look for the lowest number. The lowest number is 2, right? That's our lowest x value. Now if you look here, and there should be an arrow there. We got cut off. There should be an arrow. So our lowest value is 2, but since this keeps going, we don't know what the highest value is. So if we don't know the highest value, we do the same thing. The domain is x is greater than or equal to 2, or another way to say that is x is greater than 2, right? Now, since it keeps going forever, we can't say that it's less than any number. It's just x is greater than 2, right? And that is how we do that. All right, that's it. Now, here's the deal. You have to complete these questions on your own, and then you're going to look at the answer key. When you're done with the answer key, you'll do the Khan Academy assignment. If you can complete those 2 things before time's up, you've completed your work for the day. Good luck.